So the UK is in a bit of a renaissance at the moment. Coffee is becoming more and more popular, and people are choosing their coffees a lot more. So back in my childhood, coffee used to be some horrible stuff in a percolator, and then more recently it became Italian drinks with lots of milk in it. But now we're into the third wave of coffee, and third wave of coffee is all about lightly roasted coffee with amazing flavors and quite a bit of acidity in it. If you look at the SEAA, the American organization that controls the specialty coffee world, they have this flavor wheel, and on the left we have coffee roasting faults, which include flavors such as concrete, and on the right we have really interesting flavors such as garlic. But it can be quite exclusive, and we don't think that's the right way forward. We think it should be all-inclusive, so coffee for everyone, and we're taking coffee flavors and try to introduce people into more coffee, or more approachable coffee. The problem we have is that you can only drink so much coffee a day, otherwise you get completely wired. So we better make those coffees as good as they possibly can be. So where does coffee come from? Well, pretty much anywhere across the equator. There's about 20 coffee-producing countries or major producers in the world. And of those countries, there are two different species of coffee. There's Arabica, which in our company, we love. And there is also Robusta, which we don't like so much, because Robusta is a more bitter type of coffee, and it has more caffeine, and it's cheaper because it's less prone to disease. The other thing we find in coffee is that we've got a huge amount of pressure on certification. But maybe we shouldn't worry so much about all these certifications at the top. Although they're important, it's far more important to give the buyers the opportunity, the growers to have the opportunity to manage their coffees well. So how is the roasting process managed? Well, we start with the green beans on the top left. They go down and produce into those green beans. We roast them, and then we make the great coffee. But coffee roasting is a bit of a strange thing. Is it cooking? Well, we certainly look at temperature profiles, we certainly look at colors, but it's not just about cooking. It's a little bit more about science, and the coffee roasting process is incredibly complex. There are many, many complex flavors in coffee, more so even than wine. So it really is quite a complicated process to undertake. It's actually quite a creative process as well. It requires us to look at not only the science and the baking side of it, but also to look at all five senses. And coffee roasting really just does look at all five senses. So we use our sight, sense, smell, taste, touch, and we even listen to the coffee, because coffee makes a specific sound at 2 points during the roasting process. Here's a graph of a coffee that we roasted yesterday. You can see it's quite complicated. What we're trying to do here is to try to control the process of coffee roasting, or at least watch how we roast the coffee. We monitor 2 different temperature probes from the machine, and we're actually looking at several different events that occur in the process. So at the beginning, we've got the time where the coffee goes in, we look for the point where the coffee is fully dried, and then we listen for the first sound, the first crack occurring. And the time between these 2 cracks is absolutely critical. This is where the whole process can fall or succeed. In fact, we really consider that last phase of the roasting process is really where the holy grail of coffee can be found. So in that short 4-minute time period, that's the time where a coffee can either be produced really well or completely ruined. So I ask you, do you want to have coffee produced by a big factory on a production conveyor belt roasted process from large volume suppliers into perhaps not the most discerning cup, or do you want to have coffee produced by small artisan roasters that really care about what they do and produce very good quality coffee? Thank you very much.